Hi and welcome to this week's video from truewaykids.com, where each week we upload free printable Bible lessons for under 5s to be able to explore the Bible. So for the past last weekend, coming up until Christmas, we could do a special Christmas series. So if you haven't already done so, can I encourage you to head over to the website at truewaykids.com, and there you can download the lessons for free. So last week we started by looking at the wait for Christmas, and this week's lesson follows on. So if you haven't done so, go download this lesson first, Waiting for Christmas. It talks about how the Old Testament pointed to Jesus' coming. And then this week we're picking up with week 2, which is the angel appears to Mary. There's the angel telling Mary the wonderful news, but surprising news for her, that she was going to give birth to Jesus. So as you open up this week's lesson, you'll see right here on the first page is the introduction. There's a QR code there. I'll take you to some worship songs as well as some videos of animations which will explain this week's video. But I always encourage you firstly and foremost to read it from your Bible. So it's taken from Luke chapter 1 verse 26 through to 38 this week. So read out with your child from their Bible or from your family Bible. Help them to understand that this is not just a story, but it's from God's Word. So some of the points we're going to look at this week is considered here is showing that nothing is impossible for God. That God often works in ways we don't understand, and God gives us people to help us in times of difficulty, in times of confusion. For example, Mary went to visit Elizabeth after being told that she was going to give birth to Jesus. Throughout here we share about, first of all, about angels. We talk about how angels bring us messages. We're going to reflect. If you've been doing this series for the past year, looking at the Old Testament, we're going to think of some encounters that angels gave messages to people from God. For example, the angel that came to Abraham and told him the news. So we can see that angels bring messages to us, and we're going to carry this throughout the lesson. We're going to see many points looking at baby photos, and we're going to look at how babies need a mum and a dad, but how Mary was going to be a mum without an earthly dad. In fact, God said that he was going to be the father, that Jesus would be the Son of God. We're going to see how he told Joseph that he would save the people from their sins, how Jesus came to save us. There's so many important things, important truths, ways you can deliver it in the notes. So I encourage you to read it beforehand, whether you're taking a class or whether you're doing it with your child at home, to get familiar with the story, get familiar with the ideas, then you can explore that passage with your child. So last week we didn't do it, but this week we're back is the Printable Story. So you need to do is over 2 pages. Let me just sort this out quickly. So over 2 pages like so. So you see Mary there. All you do is print them off, put them together like so. Then you can fold them in half and you have a nice easy book. You can use this as a bedtime story or as a take-home page from church. So Mary and the angel telling her that she got some important news. She was scared. Then we see Joseph didn't really know how to react, but then God told him. We see Zachariah there carry on about the birth of John. He was in the temple and the angel appeared to Zachariah. Then finally with Mary visiting Elizabeth on the back page. It basically just sums up the story in an easy way with illustrations which go along with this week's lesson. Then the next page is games and activities. First one is to visit a family or friends. Mary, when she received the news, she went to visit Elizabeth. You know, Christmas is often a time where we catch up with friends and family we haven't seen maybe throughout the year. So as you do it, talk to your child about how God blesses us with people and reflect on Mary visiting Elizabeth. Spend some quality time with family and friends. Next one is to make cards for an old people's home or retirement home. Now, it's a time of year and we love receiving and giving cards. And as we think about the angel bringing a message to Mary and to Zachariah and so on, how wonderful it would be if we encourage our kids to think beyond just their generation of friends, but to give and send a message of encouragement, of hope, of love to somebody maybe who won't have any other cards this year. So included in this week's lesson is also a template you can use to make a card and help your child practice their handwriting. But also you can just make some with pieces of paper you have around the home, or even just buy some cards and write on them, deliver them to your local retirement home, give it to a member of staff and say, these are cards from me and my child, just to encourage somebody and to say Happy Christmas. That will really bless somebody in a big way. And finally is just a game called Leap for Joy. So when Mary came to visit Elizabeth, the baby inside of her, John the Baptist leaped with joy. So we're going to play a jumping game. So you can say to your child different directions of how to jump. So jump high, jump low, jump forward, jump backwards, jump left, jump right, and so on. Jump 2 times, jump 5 times. And just turn it into a game. Make sure they follow the instructions correctly. Also, you can do, if you've got a few kids in the room, make it a competition. You can see who can jump the furthest, so who can jump the highest, so who can jump the funniest, and so on. Well, And on the next page, you'll see the template which I just mentioned. This is a template you can use as the card which you could then give to somebody. So it says Happy Christmas, or which if you're using it in different language, we have this week's lesson again in Spanish, Portuguese and French as well as English. You can trace the text here, help your child to practice their handwriting, just following the lines. And here it says this card was made by, and the child will write their name there. Colour it in, it just says Happy Christmas with a picture of Jesus in the manger, and that you can give somebody to just encourage them. Next page is the maze game. Help Mary to find her way to Elizabeth's house. It lets Elizabeth, Zachariah in the house, and Mary needs to find her way through the maze and the cross to Elizabeth. Then to practice writing A, what we got there is angel built into the actual angel thing. Then going across to shows how to write the line up, down, and across. Then practicing writing the letter A below here. Then just freehand on the bottom line after they practiced a few times. The last is about delivering letters. So I'm sure your child's also excited if they have some cards for the door. What we got here is numbers. You can help also use this to remind your child what number house they live in. It's a good thing for them to know. Then you see doors with numbers on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they need to draw lines to bring the letters to the right door. They can play postman or delivery man. And this week's craft is going to be an angel. Is a free printable on the next page. It's very easy to make, but you can print on thick paper or card. Both work well. So here's the template of how to do it. If you're doing it in a group setting, I recommend that you actually cut out these cones first, assemble cones before you get to class. That'll just save you a lot of time and hassle when you've got lots of kids asking you to do it at the same time. If you're doing it at home, then you can do it obviously step by step. You can glue here, but also you can use sellotape, and that will hold it a lot quicker and a lot faster. So here's the example of the one we made. So you'll see here is the cone is ready in place. All you do then is, I use tape, but you can use glue to tape on the wings and to tape on the body. Obviously you colour in the angel separate, and once it's all done you can assemble it. So if you're doing class, just give the children the wings and the body, have them colour it in, and then glue it onto the pre-made cone. The template is included, so that's nice for you to make. Then carrying on, last week we started off building our nativity set. If you haven't done so already, go back to the last week's lesson, you can print it off. So we had a stable scene, and we had a lot of the characters which then appear in the nativity. So one of the ideas why I included these in the lessons is that we can interact with it, and we can tell stories, we can act them out. You know, children like to learn in different ways, and for some actually doing it and acting out will really help them to understand the story. So you have your characters last week, make sure you have them ready for this. And on the next 2 pages we have, here is Mary's house. So yeah, that's an inside of the house, so you would fold it the other way. You see some candles and some things on the shelf. And on the next page, what we have then is Elizabeth's house. So here's Elizabeth's house. And I have 2 copies here just to show you how we made them. So here goes, here's first Elizabeth's house. So what you would do, for example, is you have Elizabeth and there's Mary, and you would just have them, so acting out to Elizabeth's here, and take from Mary's house, which I'll show you in a second, and have a walk over to Elizabeth's house. That will help your child to really play with the story and to interact with it. And then again, Mary's house, you fold it exactly the same as the way stable house, but the other way, so it's the inside of her house, and you can have her here waiting, and then the angel would appear to her in the room and tell her the news about how she'll be standing after she walk off to Elizabeth's house. So print these on card is for best results, and leave them around your house as part of your nativity scene this year. Fill out the whole story of Christmas. Well, that just brings us down to our colouring pages now. So first colouring page is there, the angel appearing to Mary. Then we have Mary visiting Elizabeth. Carrying on from there, then we have some character colouring pages. You can also, in the group setting, give these to children, have them be that person as you tell a story, have them to interact. So the first one is the angel, then we have Joseph. Again, you can have one child and one boy play Joseph as you retell a story. Mary. Then we have Elizabeth, and finally Zachariah. And again, you can use these colour made throughout the week as extra aids, give them to different children, and we'll have them become that character after colouring it out. Last page, just some more worship songs, singing Proclaim Mary Did You Know, Angel Came From Heaven, talking about angels giving us messages, and then Hush There's a Baby. So just good songs for you to sing over this Christmas period, as well as I'm sure you have your favourite Christmas songs as a family. Pray, thank God that He sent Jesus to save us, and thankfully he shares the message with us. Ask him to help us to share the Christmas message with others. The next week we're looking at Jesus is born. We're looking at the journey from Nazareth to Bethlehem, and then actually the birth there in the stable where there was no room for him. So I hope you can join us again next week. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any photos of your nativity scene, please send them to us, and we'd love to see them. That would be great encouragement. Well, God bless you. Have a great week, and I'll see you again next week for our next lesson. God bless.